America now. And after over a decade of diplomatic freeze, the United States has reopened its presence in Damascus. Newly appointed US envoy to Syria, Thomas Barrack, arrived in the capital today, raising the American flag over the ambassador's residence for the first time since 2012. Barrack praised Syria's new Islamist-led government under interim President Ahmed al-Sharaa. He expressed confidence that peace between Syria and Israel is achievable through dialogue, cooperation and mutual non-aggression agreements. Syria has also signed a $7 billion energy deal with Qatari, US and Turkish firms to revive its power sector. Signed in Damascus with interim President al-Sharaa and US envoy Barrack, the project aims to generate 5,000 megawatts, meeting half of Syria's electricity needs. Meanwhile, the US now plans to remove Syria from its state sponsor of terrorism list, pending a 6-month congressional review. Barrack also called for the repeal of the tough Caesar sanctions, saying President Trump himself is impatient to end them. This comes after Trump's recent meeting with al-Sharaa in Riyadh and reports that Syrian and Israeli officials are already in direct talks. Well, joining us to discuss these developments is Ali M. Abushbak, an independent Palestinian researcher who is joining us from Cairo. Ali, thank you ever so much for being here. Let's first look at the reopening of the US Embassy in Damascus. We've also, of course, just relayed there that the Trump administration is looking to ease sanctions, a move that the EU has already done and other leading Western nations have called for. What's the significance of this US support for Syria?
Thank you, Joshua. This is a good news after 1.5 decades of closing the American embassy in Syria. They are going to reopen it, and we have witnessed during the Riyadh meeting, Donald Trump, he announced that America is going to remove the sanction on Syria. So I guess nowadays we are going through the new Syria without Bashar al-Assad regimes after they overthrow it in the end of last year, and as well as Mohammed al-Sharaa, he is going to open with the Western country after the long tension between the oldest regime that led by Bashar al-Assad. So we have witnessed a lot of tension between Syria, that previous Syria, and we are witnessing now a new Syria that more friendly with Western country, and as well as after the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad, nowadays that Iranian proxy in the area become more weak, because Bashar al-Assad regime used to support Hamas group in Gaza and support Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. And nowadays, after the danger has been removed, now America and the Western country have a new trust about Mohammed al-Sharaa, despite his root and mental that related to Al-Qaeda, extremely he's trying to show how much he's a moderate and how much he's taking a balance with the conflict. Especially Syria was the central of the conflict between Arab and Israel occupied the Golan in 1967. Nowadays, that the relation between Syria and America, it's more, I guess, good. And according to Donald Trump, he's going to give a new government or a new authority in Syria a new chance to see their willingness and their plan with regarding these things. During that time when Donald Trump, he met Mohammed al-Sharaa, the temporary president of Syria, he confirmed that he's going to recognize Israel after the situation becomes stable. And here I have met a lot of Syrian people. When I asked them, what's your opinion about recognizing Israel and normalize the relation with Israel, most of them, they said, we don't care about it. We care just about the situation in Syria. We care about the removing the sanction and the economy of Syria. Because as you know, since the revolution in Syria 2011, there is an economical crisis in Syria, and the value of Syrian currency, it's reduced a lot of, and incredibly reduced. So
yes.
As well as, meanwhile, yesterday, Benjamin Netanyahu, during his speech in Israeli's parliament, Knesset, for the first time, he mentioned the name of Muhammad al-Shara as Muhammad al-Shara, not Muhammad al-Julani, as we know him previously from Al-Qaeda, because his nickname was Muhammad al-Julani, because he belongs to Julanian area. Yes. Which Israel occupied it. So is these things, or is this mentioning the name or official name Muhammad al-Shara going to tighter relation with Israel? Also, it's worth mentioning that last week Israel has successfully retrieved as the stuff and idiom of their Israelis spy in Syria after 60 years of hanging him, Edi Cohen, and his stuff now is in Israel. So also, as well as, despite the tension between Israel and Syria because of Druze minority, but as we have witnessed that Muhammad al-Shara is trying to handle it and to to be a balance to solve the issue with the doors sanction in Syria. So we are going through.
Ali, sorry to interject. We are running shorter on time, but I'm glad you spoke about Israel there. Of course, Thomas Barak has said that there is hope for peace between Israel and Syria moving forward, and we will, of course, keep our eye on that and the developments. But I just want to end by talking about this energy deal, $7 billion energy deal, not just the United States, but we're also looking at Qatari and Turkish firms as well. The state of Syria following years of civil war, the Bashar al-Assad regime, we know that there are hundreds of thousands potentially unexploded munitions and bombs in the country. How positive is this a step for the people of Syria?
It's a good question, Joshua, because also there is a more 60 million Syrian displaced, and they are in diaspora. So I guess this is giving the hope for the Syrian people. And we have witnessed here in Egypt, there is a several of movement to return to Syria. So I guess the situation is going to be a stable, and it's going to be a more safe in Syria, especially after this agreement. And I guess it will like retrieve and resurrection of the Syrian economy. So it's this kind of things. It's taking the side of America. Syria, the new regime could be relieved and could be provide a new service for the civilians in Syria, especially they are suffering for more than 1.5 decades of the civil war in Syria.
Yes, Ali M. Bushback, as always, thank you ever so much for joining us. We will, of course, be across all of the developments in Syria, the Middle East and across the world. But for now, that is all we have time for. For those updates and much more, stay tuned to NewsX World.